And welcome to News Today with me, Kamini Nyamani Amano. Coming up over the next senior lecturer at the Ghana School of Law, Maxwell Opoku-Agyeman, says Ghana needs specialized lawyers to handle specific cases if the country is to make headway in efforts at reducing incidents of default judgments. Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry asks ECOWAS to be cautious as they take a final decision on signing the EPA with the EU. The United Nations warns millions of people in South Sudan are facing a potential famine because of a huge funding shortfall. Stay with me, I'll bring you details of these stories and plenty more over the next hour. Don't go away. Hello, this is News Today. Now, a recent survey has revealed about 10,000 schools do not have toilet facilities. The number is half the estimated 20,000 public schools in Ghana. Now, that is excluding the ones that are privately owned. Troubling as the statistics are, Joynews has learned even where the toilet facilities are available, they may either not be suitable for use or unavailable for use by the students, as Yafuso Ajemfi found out in the following report, in which two schools right here in Accra, school authorities fear the situation, if not immediately addressed, could lead to an outbreak of diseases.
22 schools here make up the Nungwa cluster of schools in the Lojokuku-Krowo district. With more than 1,000 pupils currently, the schools for so many years have not had toilet facilities. As a result, the bushes close to the school is where most of the pupils go to ease themselves.
There is some public toilets at the government school over there, so all of the students and the teachers have been going to that place. The public toilet, before you go there, you have to pay some money before you go to that place. And the money that they've been collecting is 20 pesos and 30 pesos.
They've been collecting money. Most of the students don't have money, so they find it difficult to go to that place. So most of them are going to the seashore to defecate. Those in kindergarten are the most affected. Even though the school now boasts of a new toilet facility put up by a non-governmental organization, the place is still under lock and key because officials say they would need money to keep the place running.
They also provided water for us that we pump, and we use electricity. So that one too has its cost. If we don't take care, it will get to a time then we cannot be able to look after it well.
But even when it's running, the 22-seater NGO toilet facility, according to school authorities, is still not enough to cater for all the pupils.
I'll take this opportunity to appeal to all that can come to our aid to help us to build other toilets, water and others. Even the electricity, I say we used to pump the water. If some people can come and help in any way, either in cash or in kind, we would really appreciate it.
The inadequacy of toilet facilities for schools which have them is not restricted to just the Nungwa cluster of schools. St. Mary's Junior High School at Kolebu here in Accra, for instance, has this 6-seater toilet facility where students have to queue for their turn.
We will not be able to use the 6 toilets. It will not be enough for us to use it, because when there may be somebody inside and somebody will be also suffering outside, not knowing what will happen next, because when the person is also suffering inside, the person outside will not be able to use the
So you've been
toilet
queuing at Headmaster Bismarck Enim explains that when the taps are not flowing, they have no choice but to refer the students to the old toilet facility, which has developed so many cracks and is virtually a death trap.
We are managing, but only sometimes when there is water problem. When it happens that way, we also find a way of allowing them to use. We look for water to clean the water, the old one, so that they can even use until we get water. Yeah.
If examples such as the Nungwa cluster in St. Mary's are nothing to go by, adequate attention would have to be paid to the case of toiletless schools, especially because of its impact on teaching and learning.
Let's stay on education, and we understand the Minister of Education, Nana Ama, has been touring some WASI centers. Matilda Omega joined her on the tour, and she's also joined us over the telephone with a quick update. Hello, Matilda.
Hello, Kevin.
Tell us what you've observed.
Well, basically today we have been touring some of these examination centers in Accra. Precisely, we went 5 exam centers, namely Laboni, La Prese, Teshi Presi, Secondary, and Kaneti Technical Secondary School. So what we observed is that when we got there, the candidates were busy writing their exams, so we couldn't get much to talk to them. But then what we observed is that everything seems to be going on well with regards to the papers arrived on time, and invigilators were also the standby where they were seeing to it that the students were peacefully going through their papers.
Did the minister disclose why it was necessary she went on this tour at this time?
Exactly. The reason why she went on this particular tour is to assess the situation on the ground and see for herself what could be done, especially with regards to structures and then the examination centers. Some of the centers didn't have a place, so most of them were even using an uncompleted structures. And this, she assured us that there were projects which will be completed soon. But then, in all, she was just assessing if maybe there could be some interim measures to be put in place for these candidates as they write their exam.
Wasn't it a bit distracting for these candidates writing the exam, the visit?
Well, we wouldn't say it was distractive anyway, because so even we, the media, we were not even allowed inside. So you just have to be at a distance and then get your shot. But then with the minister, she was just interacting with some of these head teachers who assured her that indeed everything was going on well and that they were not really experiencing much problem. Just for the fact that some people couldn't write their papers because they have not been able to pay their fees.
Did she address that problem?
No, she didn't address that issue. What she was basically looking at is the exam itself, the structures in which these students were writing. Let's see if security was at fault, and then see if examination papers had also arrived on time, and basically assess the situation on the ground and find out from students how exactly that they were taking the exam.
Thank you very much, Matilda. Matilda Ama was on a tour with the Minister of Education of some WASI centers here in the capital city. Let's move on to Tema now, and hundreds of residents of Tema Newtown, Mahia, rendered homeless, are appealing to the National Disaster Management Organization for relief items. This is because their homes have been demolished by the Tema Traditional Council. The residents on Wednesday, April 2, were forced to sleep in the open after a demolition exercise supervised by armed police personnel and the Tema Metropolitan Assembly Security Task Force left them without homes. The Tema Traditional Council says it took the action because the residents have encroached on their land. Isaac Ashia Odampton is the Municipal Chief Executive in the area. He's joined us over the telephone. Hello, Isaac.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too. But what happened since your appeal?
Thank you for the opportunity. I think that consistent with humanitarian services as provided by NADMO, even where one person is affected, it is of concern to us as an assembly and as NADMO in Tema Metro. So all those concerns are being looked at.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, right. When you say these concerns are being looked at, exactly how do you mean?
Yeah, your question sought to find out what the humanitarian requests being made by the displaced people are, if I got you right.
Well,
was that
yes,
the question?
Yes,
and that's why I'm saying that yes, even if it is one or two people who have been affected, we need to show faith with them and provide for them. So the NADMO Tema would get involved and prefer the needed support that we ought to give.
I see, but as an assembly, nothing is going on for them?
In fact, normally when these things happen, you would have to do the need assessment, the registration, and then map out what specific interventions will be needed. And so that is a process which would go through, and then once a firm understanding of what the needs are is
but Isaac, I'm thinking we knew this was going to happen, and prior to the demolition itself, we knew it was going to happen. We couldn't have done this before now.
You see, I think I would have to say a few things about this. Is an action that the traditional council has over the period engaged the residents there, engaged the key stakeholders, engaged the chief of the area, of the immediate community before the U compound. So there has been series of engagement. And the last time I got the opportunity to tour the area, I saw that many of the structures had been removed. Many of them had been removed. And so the council appealed to the to clear the roads. Because you see, my interest was in the development of the area, whether the existing people or the rightful owners. I would want to affect the possibility of people building in roadways, sewer lines. And so once we saw that many of the people had moved, we sought to clear the road between the blocks that had been. And I personally saw the drawings for the area. That's the composite plan for the area. And there were 2 lanes that needed to be cleared. And that is what we assisted the...
So how many people have been affected?
I don't have the figures now. I'll check and then get. But like I said, many of the residents had agreed. I personally, in December, and I invited the affected people, and they came and said, right, they have no problem against the traditional council, except that they wanted some time. And so I prevailed upon the traditional authorities, and they agreed and extended it to 28th of February. On that day, many more people were there. So I invited the chiefs and the elders, and they listened to me again, and they cannot go ahead with the demolition of the 28th of February.
Isaac,
we'll
leave it here for now. Thank you very much. Isaac Ashia Odamton is MCE for Tema Mahnya. Let's move on to something else. And the joy of motherhood is without doubt priceless. But not all mothers survive to experience this joy, often because of the lack of access to health facilities. And the following feature, Gifty Ando Apia, highlights the contribution of a chief who doubles as a midwife, all in a bid to reduce maternal mortality in his area, a village called Mango Tideke.
Mango Tideke is located in the Agotimeziofe district of the Volta region. Childbirth in this place is a miraculous process. An 8-month-old pregnant Maufemo is about to experience it for the 3rd time. It is late noon on 30th December 2013. 23-year-old Maufemo is feeling the pain of labor. Ideally, she should be at the labor ward. But there is no health facility in Mango Tideke. She will be delivered by Chief of the town, Togwi Bo Moses. He takes Maufemo through the procedure administering his usual herbs as he waits for signs of the baby's arrival. Every mother in this village has gone through this to have their babies. As night fell, the baby finally arrived with the help of a little flashlight. This is Maupemo's third baby by this man, making his total deliveries 122 since he started in 1988. He tells me not a single baby has died on his hands. Maupemo is lucky. Her delivery was in a bathroom. Otherwise, this bare floor is where deliveries usually take place. They demonstrated how the floor and space are cordoned off with clothes during deliveries. With some training from a health center in neighboring Petoi, where he volunteered as an assistant, he shows me evidence that his work is under constant supervision from health authorities there. Tokbi tells me the village needs a structure in which he can perform this function as the situation gets terrible when it rains.
Because there is no shelter, we are always at the mercy of the weather. I need a shelter exactly where I work.
He's also seeking basic needs like hand gloves and disinfectants to help prevent the transfer of infections.
I need tools to work, like hand gloves, disinfectants. I especially need spirit to dress the wound after the umbilical cord is cut. I really need help.
Maupemo shows off her baby with pride after a week. She is convinced that the services she received here at the village will be her first choice to any hospital.
Tagwe is able to deliver us, so we only go to the hospital when it becomes very necessary.
She's not alone with this thought. Christy had her baby on the floor a few months before Maupemo and shares inner thoughts.
I have 6 children by him. I can confirm that Stogby has enough experience to handle any pregnancy. The only problem is that delivery is done in the open. I know in the hospitals, you are delivered in a room.
They want their chief and midwife well-resourced. District Chief Executive of the Agotime traditional area, Michael Ajaho, promises some attention to the situation after emphasizing Mangotideke cannot have a health post because the number of people here falls below the threshold.
When I visited him, he was then using hand glove. But if the hand glove got spoiled, then what I would do is that I will make sure that Ministry of Health steps in, supply him with hand glove, and then, you know, the bed floor to them. If we ask them to give them bed to them, they said no. If we realize what is doing, if it is telling the truth, the Ministry of Health will also have to come in before the assembly will get up. We are even educating them that they should do to the minimum. Yes, not fully, because Kweto is not far.
In 2012, a special committee of Parliament on poverty reduction indicated the country might not achieve the MDG on reducing the maternal mortality rate of 185 to 100,000 live births by 2015. Traditional birth attendants like Toby Moses remain indispensable in villages and towns all over Ghana. A little more capacity building and appropriate resourcing of these service providers promises a positive impact on reducing maternal mortality and achieving universal access to reproductive health. Like all others in Mangotideke, Chrissy and Maupemo expect to subsequently have their babies in a familiar but safer atmosphere. She tells me that although what she's seen happen in the hospital is better than what happens here in the village during childbirth, she prefers to have her baby here in the village. For Joy News, Gifty Andopia, Mangotideke.
From the Volta region, let's go up north, where we understand one person has died with several other houses set on fire in a disputed land conflict between some members of a small farming community in the Mamprusi district of the northern region. We are joined by the assemblyman of the area over the telephone, Nyomon Colin Simon. Thank you very much for joining us on News Today, Colin.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just to make a quick correction.
Go
ahead. I am not assembly member in the East Mamprusi. I am assembly member for Bumbrugu district.
Come again?
And I am saying that I am an assembly member for Bumbrugu district.
I see.
In Nabanduri.
I see.
My area, I only share boundary with the East Mamprusi.
Very well. But most importantly, you witnessed what happened. Tell us where this happened.
Yeah, in fact, it baffles me what actually happened. But what took place was, at dawn yesterday, the Demobets were attacked by these people, some tall people, who came there and shot one of their boys, a student of 22 years of age. And when they got out, they were very angry and they had to also attack them. And the timely intervention of the police, they separated them, and the military, they separated them. But later in the day, the people went and attacked the one Bimova community,
right,
and then sit down. And this morning too, it's like they have now teamed up with Mamprusi, and they went to another community and bent it down, Bimova community, and bent it down, still in the East Mamprusi district of the northern region.
Do we know why this happened in the first place?
But I do not know, please. I do not know why it happened. Because I know that in the Bumbrugu district there was a between the Demobets and Kokombe.
We understand one person. We understand one person has died. Can you confirm that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is as a result of that. The people came and shot one Bimova boy. And it was a revenge. They had to go and attack that community.
I see. And so yes. Tell us about security in the Mamprusi district right now.
You mean?
Security.
Security, oh yes. I understand there's security there, but I have not been there myself.
I see. Thank you very much, Colin. Colin Simon is assembly member in the Banduri and Bumbrugu districts. Let's move on to something else now. And over 1,000 security officers will be deployed within and outside the Tamale Sports Stadium venue for the upcoming National Delegates Congress of the New Patriotic Party. The Northern Region Police Command says special patrols and police checkpoints will also be mounted at some vantage points and access roads to the Congress grounds. The three-day event, which will see the election of national executives for the NPP, will take place between the 12th and 14th of this month.
Northern Region Police Public Relations Officer ASP Ebenezer Tete, who disclosed this in an exclusive interview with Joy News, said the regional command has been in constant touch with the leadership of the NPP in the region to ensure that adequate security measures are put in place to safeguard the peace and security of the Congress.
We are going to establish police temporary posts. There will be what we call a tent city. We have identified some places that will have a temporary police post there, and their duty will be to be there and receive complaints and other messages from people who participate in the delegate congress. We also have a mobile clinic that will provide medical care to both police officers and delegates who will be taking part in the congress.
NPP Northern Region Secretary Sule Salifu has described the decision of the party to bring the Congress to the Northern Region to honor late Alhaji Aliyu Mahama as historic and one that will bring immense benefits. He said the Regional Organizing Committee has set up committees to ensure that it is able to put in place the best organizational structures for the Congress. He acknowledged the cooperation the party is enjoying from the security services, the Electoral Commission and other organizations in preparation towards the Congress.
We have met the Electoral Commission Regional Director and his team. We have booked the Tamale Sports Stadium. It has been paid for, and we have taken receipts in that regard. We have visited the Tamale Sports Stadium with the police and the Electoral Commission, and they have earmarked places where they will be putting their polling stations, where the delegates will be seated, how they would come and vote, and what the security agencies should be doing during this period.
Meanwhile, businesses are beginning to feel the impact well ahead of the Congress. Hotels have seen a sharp increase in bookings, and many can be seen sprucing up their facilities for the guests who will be coming to town.
People have already paid monies into our accounts because of these, this event, and some circumstances we had to, turn people down because we couldn't even take any calls again because of this program. We try to promote the African culture. That's in terms of the meals we will be serving. We have one type of meal everybody eats when he or she goes to it. But this time around, what we're trying to do is that we're trying to promote our local diets.
The Tamalinat hostels will accommodate the media. It, however, does not have air conditioners and may not meet the expectations of some of the practitioners. Mohammed Hashmin's report from the Northern Region.
Senior lecturer at the Ghana School of Law, Maxwell Ipukwuajiman, says Ghana needs specialized lawyers to handle specific cases if the country is to make headway in its effort at reducing incidents of default or judgment debts. Speaking on today's big story on Thursday, Maxwell Ipukwuajiman noted political interference in the work of state attorneys is a factor which he says professionals must be bold to resist. His comments follow concerns raised by the Judgment Debt Seal Commissioner Justice Yawapa on work attitude of state attorneys and the award of $12 million judgment debt to U.S. firm Balkan Energy against the government of Ghana.
Problem mainly is I respect the people in the Attorney General's office. I think that most of them are professionally savvy. They know what they are about. But the problem sometimes is where this political interference, out of which they are not able to exit their professional judgment, because some of these agreements are signed even before the staff or personnel of Attorney General are brought into the book. I think that is where the problem is. But in this country, you find professionals who are unable to say that enough is enough, I cannot take this thing anymore, I am resigning. They won't resign. Then later they come and give us all sorts of press conferences, because sometimes if you are a professional and you think that your work is being subdued, overborne by political considerations, you have to be bold enough and not be a timid person because of what reasons I don't know, and so sit down there. I mean, I share the frustrations of Justice Apao, that if you don't take the way things happen, but the way we go into all these things, and sometimes lawyers are brought into the know at the tail end of it, when the matter has already either been crucified or whatever, then they bring you into it. Sometimes I think that you can't do anything, because if your case is bad, it is bad. There's nothing you can do. So that is where
alumni and students of the Accra Polytechnic have donated 134 pints of blood to support the Kolebu Blood Bank. Southern Area Blood Recruiter of the National Blood Transfusion Center, Stephen Danso, called on other groups to donate to help save lives.
Students were screened for various ailments, whilst their body mass and weight limits were checked before they were allowed to donate blood. Mensiba Abdul Salam is a first-time donor. She found the whole process encouraging and called on others to consider the act a national duty and responsibility.
It's part of my responsibility as a human, because
I don't know when next I might need it. So if I have it in excess now, I have to give it for someone. And then the next time I will need it, someone will also be ready to give it to me. That's why I donate it. I urge each and everyone to donate blood because it's a wonderful experience. It's very nice. It's your duty as a citizen of Ghana to donate blood.
For others like Kenneth Appiah, a third-time donor, the experience has been worthwhile and advise others to do same.
Saving a life too is something important. It's good. It might be me, in that situation. So saving life is good. They should also donate to help save a life.
A member of the Alumni Association of Accra Polytechnic, Awal Mohammed, said this was the third time the association was organizing the blood donation to shore up reserves at the blood bank.
It's a civic responsibility on each and every individual, and we the alumni body thought it was that why don't you take this as a tax on us, because we thought it was that we have to help and save a life at Kolebo, because each and every day people have been demanding blood.
Stephen Danso, a southern area blood recruiter.
The Ghana Medical Association says Monday it will start looking into a case in which a mother of 4 is suing the 37 military hospital over professional negligence.
The GMA basically is to ensure that, one, Ghanaians get the best health care that is available, and also to ensure that practitioners do what is right, as well as also maintain the welfare of practitioners. Now, in this situation, this is something that is before the court. But assuming that, let's say, the issue had been even brought to the attention of the GMA will first and foremost sit down with the doctor involved and the facility to find out the merits or otherwise of what may have happened. Based on that, depending on the results that the GMA gets, the GMA can on its own decide that no, this matter ought to go to the Medical and Dental Council, because the GMA will not intentionally shield any professional doctor who is found to deliberately engage in things that ought not to be done. So under those circumstances, assuming that
there's more news ahead. Don't go away. Yeah, welcome back to News Today. We move on to some business stories now. And the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry is impressing on ECOWAS to be cautious as they take a final decision on the signing of the Economic Partnership Agreement with the European Union. According to the Chamber, although they were in support of those who have raised questions about the benefits of the agreement to the sub-region, careful study makes it important that ECOWAS approaches its final decision with caution. Ghana, among other West African states, deferred the decision to sign the EU's Economic Partnership Agreement to the next 2 months. Nigeria reportedly led a group to resist signing the agreement at the just-ended ECOWAS summit in Yamoussoukro, Côte d'Ivoire. Government will soon review its refrigerator rebate scheme, which allows owners of old functioning refrigerators to exchange them for new energy-efficient ones. Under the pilot scheme, which was launched by the Energy Commission in September 2012, people seeking to take advantage of the offer are given discounts on new refrigerators based on rebates of up to 200 Ghana cedis on their old fridges.
The primary objective of the program is to improve the energy efficiency of appliances marketed and used in the country. According to Head of Public Affairs at the Energy Commission, Victor Owusu, about 4,000 old functioning refrigerators have so far been surrendered for new and efficient ones under the scheme.
Yeah, the star rating is about energy efficiency. The more the stars, the more efficient the appliances. And in this case, 5 is the maximum, as I have said. And so for nothing at all, you should get a 1-star fridge.
He added, government has paid about 800,000 Ghana cedis so far as rebate. He said for every old functioning refrigerator surrendered and exchanged, 600 kilowatts of power was saved, and the individual also saved 34 Ghana pesos on cost of power consumption.
What we have realized is that the discount that we've offered is actually eroding by looking at the recent developments. The discount is becoming a bit too little. So we are thinking of increasing the discount. For example, for the 2-star one, which is 150, will go up to about 200, and the 3-star will go up to about 300. Right. So if, for example, you previously offered 200 Ghana if you bought a 3-star fridge, we are now thinking of increasing our discount to 300 Ghana cedis. And we are also thinking of expanding the range of refrigerators that one can buy under the scheme.
Victor also said the ban on importation of used refrigerators was still in force, adding the Commission is collaborating effectively with importers to improve the system. Matilda Pamaga for Joynews, Accra.
Let's head for the stock markets now. And today we have David Odoidankwa in the studio. He's not over the telephone. Thank you very much. It's good to see you again. It's been a while.
Good to see you. Yeah.
So what's been happening on the stock exchange?
Much has not happened on the stock market. Just that we've seen the market going down for some time now. I think beginning of the year the market was up a little, but for the past 2 months we've not seen the best out of the market. And as I've been saying always, this trend is not just in Ghana. Right. If you look at Nigeria, South Africa, and some other strong markets in Africa, you see that they are equally suffering from the same issue. So it's not one thing in Ghana. I mean, looking at the composite index, starting the week at 11.24%, it closed Thursday, that's yesterday, at 10.75% year to date. So you can see the market was down. I mean, measuring with the composite index, the financial index that went as high as 23% is now measuring 16.07% year to date as at close of trade yesterday. With the Gold Coast All Share Index, dollar adjusted, now measuring a depreciation of 10.69. So then it means if you want to adjust the performance of the Ghana stock market in terms of dollar, then we are measuring a depreciation of about 10.69. And we are saying that the macros of the economy is not that good, and we've heard some international organizations hitting hard on Ghana about the macros in the economy.
So the somewhat stability of the cedi against the dollar has not changed anything on the stock market yet?
Yes, it has not changed anything on the market, because though we are saying relative stability, because you are comparing to a higher base in January. I mean, looking at it, the depreciation has fallen, but it's still strong. I mean, having a monthly depreciation of about 7% is still on a higher side. So investors are not impressed about it, and also looking at the forecast that the Ghana cedi might go on depreciating for some time now before the year ends. I mean, they are all factors investors are taking into consideration, especially when it comes to the foreign investors. I mean, they take all these factors into consideration before locking their funds up on the market.
But we're looking forward to a good time ahead, because the companies will start to realign themselves to the economic trends.
If you're looking at the fundamentals, I mean, if you're looking at the qualities of the companies on the Ghana stock market, I mean, they are very good. Looking at the few first quarter performance that are out, looking at the end of year 2013 performance that was out. I mean, in spite of the challenges that the economy was going through, they were able to make tremendous, profit. Looking at HFC, the Cow, EGL, and most of the financial stocks, I mean, they did well in 2013. So I would not be surprised that they'll continue to yield much to investors in terms of fundamentals. But as in it reflecting on the stock market is the issue now, and the ground with which they will lie on to reflect is what we are having challenges on. So immediately the market gets set, then we will see the stock market moving up, because I think they have a lot of potential to give to investors. So as I would say always, this is always the time,
a good time
to buy.
And by the way, nice shirt.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us here on News Today. Now, we've been talking to David Odoidankwa. He's a researcher with the Gold Coast Fund Management. Let's talk about something else now, perhaps some virtual business. The chief executive of Mozilla, the company best known for its Firefox browser, has stepped down. Brendan was appointed just last month, but came in for heavy criticism for his views on same-sex marriage. Brendan has also stepped down from the board of the Mozilla Foundation, the non-profit organization which owns the for-profit Mozilla Corporation. Brendan, who co-founded Mozilla and was also the creator of JavaScript scripting language, made a $1,000 donation in 2008 in support of Californian anti-gay marriage law proposition. In India, gold premiums are expected to fall from current levels of about $30 an ounce after the central bank indicated it's considering removing some of the curbs to trade that have crippled imports. India, the second biggest consumer of gold after China last year, imposed a record 10% import duty on the metal and said a fifth of all shipments should be re-exported as finished product to help narrow its current account deficit. But the recent easing of the current account deficit has given Finance Minister P. Chidambaram and the head of the central bank the space to consider lifting the restrictions on gold. Bulk gold users in India are also hoping that next government, widely expected to be formed by Bharatiya Janata Party, will move swiftly to remove the gold curbs. Well, that'll be all for business, but there's some sports action after this. Don't go away. Well, Baba Tanda isn't here, so I'll take you through the sports segment, and it's brought to you by Cowbell. The Ghana Athletics Association has designed an athletics 4 competition circuit, which began in the Upper West region over the weekend. President of the Athletics Association, Professor Dodu, tells Joy Sports the initiative seeks to break the monopoly of hosting national level competitions in Accra and Kumasi.
Year we will take 5 cities and do competitions in them. The incentive for the athletes to come out is that in every single competition, every final that you will run here, the winner will get 10 points, second place will get 8, third place 6, and so on and so forth. And then we go to Takoradi from here, I think 3.5 weeks, and you go and amass points there. And then we go to Ho. This year it will only be 4 competitions because we haven't been able to raise all the money we need to raise. What will happen then is that after Ho, after the 3rd competition, we will pick the 8 highest point scorers, the people who have the highest points in every event, and then bring them to Accra for a final. We are trying to find money to give cash prizes. The idea is that the overall winner in points, not the person who comes and wins the Accra race, so get it correct, because it's going to be you people. The overall points winner in every event, what I'm hoping we can do is raise money for that person to get 1,500 cedis. The second place winner.
Ghana midfielder Efri Acquah has promised to score excellent goals when included in World Cup squad for Brazil. He scored his first-time goal in the Italian top flight in Parma, 4-2 defeat against Roma on Wednesday. The 22-year-old scored nicely with a controlled finish to equalize for Giallo Blue in the midweek Serie A game against the capital-based Parma. However, failed to capitalize on the momentum and went on to slump to a heavy 4-2 defeat. He said he was playing regularly now at Parma and says he believes when given the opportunity to Brazil, Ghana will see more of him. Parma now placed 6th on the league table with 47 points after 31 games. Leonardo Bonucci's late strike gave Juventus an important Europa League quarter-final first leg victory as the Italian champions won 1-0 at Lyon. Swiss champions FC Basel have won 3-0 in their quarter-final first leg against Valencia. The Swiss side was playing behind otherwise closed doors, a punishment for fan misbehavior in the latest round against Red Bull Salzburg. That's it for the segment. Hope I did great. Don't go away, I'll be right back. Thank you very much for staying on News Today. Elsewhere, the United Nations wants millions of people in South Sudan are facing a potential famine because of a huge funding shortfall. A senior UN official says more than $230 million is needed in the next 2 months to avoid a humanitarian catastrophe. According to the United Nations, 3.7 million people are at severe risk of starvation. About 1 million South Sudanese have been forced to flee their homes during the past 100 days. More than 800,000 are internally displaced within South Sudan. The rest are refugees in neighboring countries. The UN humanitarian coordinator in South Sudan, Toby Lanza, says this tragedy will likely be compounded by hundreds of thousands leaving the country this year. He notes entire cities have been destroyed since the conflict between government and opposition forces erupted mid-December. The evidence for an ocean of water under the surface of Saturn's moon appears to be overwhelming. The little world has excited scientists ever since jets of icy material were seen squirting into space from a stripped region at its south pole. Now, exquisite measurements using NASA's Cassini probe as it flew over the moon have allowed researchers to detect the water's gravitational signal. A European comparison will be 245 times the water mass of Lake Garda in Italy. The findings of Professor Luciano Les and his team will boost the view that the 500-kilometer wide moon would be one of the best places beyond Earth to go to look for the existence of microbial life. Crews in the remote southern Indian Ocean have begun the underwater hunt for the missing Malaysian jetliner's flight data recorder, which is set to run out of battery power in just a few days. Retired Australian Air Chief Marshal Angus Houston said Friday a U.S. Navy towed Penga locator is being dragged across a 240-kilometer track to try to detect a signal from the black box. Authorities estimate they have only until around Monday before the batteries run out on the black box's locator beacon, which transmits electronic signals or pings. The Boeing 77 mysteriously vanished, or pings. Now, the Boeing 77 mysteriously vanished en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing on March 8. From there, we'll get into some showbiz, and Ghanaian hip-hop artist Adam, known for his Afro-hip-hop style rap and the other dialect, says his career just started with his new album, Books and Rhymes, which will feature many of Africa's renowned artists.
Known for blending his native tongue, Ewe, Ghanaian Pidgin and sometimes Patois in his songs, Ghanaian hip-hop artist Edem is taking his style a notch further as he is set to embed his name in each country on the African continent. Hi, hater. His latest venture, Kwene, which he described as awesome, is featuring former Zambia BBA star Cleo, known in the entertainment world as Ice Queen, who is also an upcoming artist. We caught up with Adam and Cleo on set shooting the video for Kwene. Cleo says this is her first such experience in Ghana.
It's a new kind of thing for me. It's a costume, so, you know, it's experimental and it's also quite a challenge. So, yeah, I just want to bring the best of the character that I'm playing. It's really a pleasure and it's an honor to be working with such a great artist.
Adam, who explains the idea behind his new album, also promises Ghanaians more continental collaborations on his new album.
We've done a song with Wairi, all the way in Kenya.
Okay.
We just wrapped up a collaboration with MI all the way in Nigeria. So the whole intent is to be continentally known with a new album. So Cleo is very good for Zambia, and so we did the song. So
putting Ghana on the map has been the main focus of most musicians in Ghana these days, and Adam is poised to be no different.
And I wish Adam all the best. Let's check out our headlines again. Senior lecturer at the Ghana School of Law, Maxwell Opoku-Agyeman, says Ghana needs specialized lawyers to handle specific cases if the country is to make headway in its efforts at reducing incidents of default judgments. Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry asks ECOWAS to be cautious as they take a final decision on the signing of the Economic Partnership Agreement with the European Union. The United Nations warns millions of people in South Sudan are facing a potential famine because of a huge funding shortfall. I'll find more news on myjoyonline.com. I am totally grateful for your company. My name is Kemini Nyamani. I'm going to have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.